Sonic, the heart of your system.
What's up everybody, my name's Andy and welcome to Kit Guru. So today we're checking out the Sound BlasterX G6 by Creative. So what is it? Well, it's an external USB powered 7.1 surround capable sound card specifically designed with gamers in mind, but it also works great for music and media consumption, basically any audio at all. Plus, it's compatible with almost any device, so games consoles, tablets, phones and PCs. So who is it for? Well, I'd say it's for everybody because the integrated sound cards on motherboards, yes, okay, they've certainly come a long way recently and usually they provide great results, but the Sound BlasterX absolutely blasts these out of the water. And most of the time you don't even realize what you're missing until you've actually tried it. So that's the case here, I can assure you. So PC users with budget, lower quality or older generation motherboards will see the greatest increase of performance whilst using this, as well as console gamers that mainly play with headphones. At the time of filming, you can purchase the Sound BlasterX G6, which is discounted down to $109.99 via Creative's website, whereas everywhere else it's around £130. So jumping over to the aesthetics and the design, to me the physical design looks something straight out of a sci-fi movie, and I actually really like that. So the main body is almost like an elongated hexagon featuring a black and grey colourway with a matte finish, and across the top is a black stripe that's got a kind of brushed metal look to it. And in the middle of that has the Sound Blaster text and a recessed RGB LED X cut into it. Now, I don't understand why it's printed this way around, as the majority of the controls are found on the other side. So with the controls facing you, which is clearly how you would want to use this, the logo is actually upside down. So just a really small gripe with that there, but it's nothing major. Now on the base we find a large rubber surface, which is to minimize sliding around, on various surfaces. And we'll take a look at the ports and the buttons after checking out the specs, which we'll look at now. So the dimensions are 111 by 70 by 24 millimeters with a weight of 144 grams. So as I mentioned earlier, this does have virtual surround sound, including 5.1 and 7.1. Now the device is USB 2.0 bus powered via the included cable. Dolby Digital decoding is available only via an optical connection, which is also included, so you do get an optical cable for use. Now the DAC, which is a digital to analog converter, has a dynamic range of 130 decibels, A-weighted, direct mode sampling rate of up to 32-bit at 384 kilohertz. Next is ADC, which is analog to digital, and this has a dynamic range of 113 decibels, A-weighted, a sampling rate mic in, line in, and optical line in up to 32-bit and 192 kilohertz, with an output impedance of 1 ohm. Now the headphone impedance is 16 to 600 ohms, so that means you can use some really high-end studio monitors with this, on-ear headphones. So the Sound BlasterX also features the custom-designed X-Amp discrete headphone application, which means that both audio channels, both left and right, on the headphones, are amplified individually for more detail. And that's a kind of a big selling point here because many others don't have that individual amplification. So ports and button wise and some extra features. So on the back of the device, we find a line in, optical in and out, as well as the micro USB input. On the front, we have the headphone input as well as the microphone input and the volume dial. So this actually doubles up as a button and it's super smooth to operate and changes in very precise increments. Pressing the dial in lets you switch over to your microphone's input control, and you can use this dial to boost or lower volume, which I really liked, because at first I was thinking, where's the microphone adjustment, but we're covered. So on the sides, we find 2 buttons and a switch. So the first button is for Scout Mode. Scout Mode is designed to give you a tactical advantage by enhancing in-game audio, such as footsteps, weapon switches, or reloading sounds, and this is meant to help you accurately pinpoint your opponent's location. This is excellent for gaming, especially stealth games like Deus Ex, or for cheeky sneaking in FPS games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now this option doesn't add anything new, it just amplifies those sounds that are already there to give you that extra advantage. So I mainly tested this out with the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and I was actually really surprised with how well it actually worked. It's something I can't show you here, but to believe it, you really do need to hear it, and it does work. So the next button is SBX, and this button toggles surround profiles on and off. So by default, this profile is designed for improving game audio with deeper bass and higher end ranges, but this can actually be adjusted manually via the PC software that we'll look at a little bit later. And finally, we have the gain switch, and this is really dictated by the capabilities of your headset. For low gain headphone impedances, so around 16 to 149 ohms, set the switch to the left. Whereas for high gain headphones with impedances of 150 to 600 ohms, put it to the right. Now setting up this little box is super easy. So simply insert the micro USB into the Sound BlasterX G6 and insert the USB into your device of choice. Now I tested this with the PS4 Pro, PC and a docked Nintendo Switch without any issues. Unfortunately, I do not have an Xbox One to test this on, or you can actually use the line-in options for things like an undocked Nintendo Switch or a tablet or anything like that, but there is no included jack-to-jack cable for this. If using a line-in option, you still need to power the Sound BlasterX via the USB port, so bear in mind with that. So jumping over to the software, you can fine-tune and tweak this G6 to your heart's content with the downloaded software, which is the Sound Blaster Connect app 2 for PC. So as always, make sure you download and install the latest software and firmware versions directly from Creative's website. The dashboard tab lets you quickly adjust settings for a range of different experiences, including gaming in general, or specific settings for specific games if you really want to go that route, music, movies, and more. So you can even add your own custom profiles by clicking on the plus button next to the library. And here you can quickly edit EQ, BlasterX acoustic engine settings, Scout mode, Dolby, filters, RGB lighting, and even more. Now this is very easy to use as they all provide visual dials to adjust. And the next tab on the left-hand side is the Sound tab. And here you can really fine-tune your experiences under the profile that you have selected via the dashboard. And what I really liked here is that you can see a brief description of what your setting is going to offer you. Now this is only a small touch, but I think it's a worthwhile feature for many people that might not necessarily know what to adjust and what the effect of the adjustment might actually make, so I quite liked that. Another useful feature is the ability to assign the Scout mode to a hotkey for those sneaky moments. Instead of having to reach over and actually press the button on the box itself, you can just assign it to like an F key or whatever you want and just tap that instead, which is a lot quicker. So the next tab is voice, and here you can adjust mic and monitoring settings, including clarity and voice morph if you want a bit of fun and sound like a robot or an orc. Now under the voice settings, we have the lighting tab, and this lets you customize the RGB LED logo on the G6 itself. Now personally, I just left it on color cycle mode, but you can assign it to respond to sounds and so much more. Lastly, we have the setup tab, and this lets you change output modes, adjust surround sound configurations, select speaker types, and adjust all types of levels via the mixer tab that's found within it. Now overall, I think the software is actually really good. It's easy to use and navigate with plenty of options. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced audiophile, I think you'll actually find this really easy to use. So testing out the Sound BlasterX, I tested my USB Razer Kraken headset against my wife's Razer Kraken headset with a 3.5mm jack plugged into the Sound Blaster X, and the difference was absolutely ridiculously noticeable in all scenarios, gaming, movies, and music. It kind of frustrated me with how much of a difference there actually is, because my USB Krakens now feel totally inadequate in comparison. It's like having an epiphany where, you know, once you actually try this out, you'll wonder how you've lived without it, and that's exactly how I feel now. In conclusion, the Scout mode works brilliantly in all games, and it doesn't distort anything either. You can still hear everything as you need to, including the game music and dialogue, but it just prioritizes those smaller details to give you an advantage. And paired with the customization of the software, I'm a huge fan of this. You know, after testing, I'd honestly go out and buy one of these. I think they're brilliant. So let's check out the pros and the cons. So pros, it enhances every possible bit of audio, not just gaming, in all senses of the word. You know, it's an upgrade for your PC or your console, it really is. So it works with almost every device. It's easy to set up, it's very simple to use. Sound Blaster Connect software is again easy to use with loads of customization, and the Scout mode works really well. So cons, well, the logo is the wrong way round in my opinion, and the price point could put some people off, but to be honest, you do get what you pay for here, and I think that's a reasonable price. And my final con is, why haven't I had one of these already? That's all I can come up with, guys. It's really, you know, I've really enjoyed testing this device out. It was really, really good. So if you've liked this video, then hit the thumbs up down below. Hit the subscribe and ring the notification bell. You can check out our merchandise down below. And don't forget to check out our Twitter and our website daily for more tech news. Well, I've been Andy, this is Kit Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.